Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog is going to be a tough one. Not because this is an episode that's bad, but because it's an episode that's very unsubtle in the ways in which it's good. And if you think that's a criticism, you're the one with the problem. See, with the other episodes I've loved this season, I've had input to make. Vader vs. Obito had plenty of story elements and dialogue to read into. Bill Cipher vs. Discord had a lot of fun references and also something of a plot twist with hints padded throughout. Cole vs. Alex had my sheer bias for the matchup, preventing me from seeing its problems. With SCOOOOBERT vs. Courage, it's like, I mean, you can watch the screen, right? You can see what's happening with your eyeballs? What is there to criticize even? Let's see, I think the ending could have brought up the fact that their stats may as well be equalized in more ways than just the black box, maybe. I suppose while accurately voiced, Scooby does have some hard to understand lines on first watch. I could start blaming Death Battle for things that are not their fault, like the fact that Courage looks really nothing like any kind of dog I've seen with the whole upright walking thing. They should have just drawn him like a normal dog. Also, why is the computer so sassy? Computers don't have emotions, this shouldn't be possible. Death Battle are getting really weird with the sponsor placements, like there's multiple of them per video now. Though I do like the transitions given in the previews this time, like those are actually well done. They almost told a story too, with Dummy going to nothing of worth because it gets undone. Way better than last episode, which randomly decided to cut from the end of the analysis to the sponsor to the interlude. That was weird. That said, I also got a mid-roll right in the middle of the fight while watching this on YouTube. That would be like if I randomly decided to put in the middle of this video is sponsored by G Fuel, the sugar-free energy formula with zero sugar. That's what sugar-free means, as well as 0 calories and 0 carbs, which have instead been replaced with loads of antioxidants and vitamins. Wow! That came off a lot more disingenuous than intended. Available in over 50 flavors and using plant-based ingredients, so it is vegan-friendly. It's also storage-friendly, coming in cans and tubs that both probably fit in whatever manner of storage you use for your most important valuables. Throw away those high school awards, nobody remembers them. If you want to be an epic gamer like me, seen here winning the first night of Five Nights at Freddy's while blindfolded, then you should use code BLOODRAG over on G Fuel. Not only to get 20% off your G Fuel purchase, but also to give you some practice at actually spelling my name right, because you have absolutely no idea how often people fail to accomplish so simple a task. And now, I'm going to drink it. Unfortunately, as you may be able to see, my head is a pumpkin, and so drinking is a little bit difficult. Thankfully, to avoid looking like an idiot, I'm going to drink from this here straw. Today I'm trying watermelon flavor, because why not? Yeah, why not? Let's just see what it's like. To avoid looking like an idiot. That's actually pretty good. That's actually better than I thought it would be. It's actually really nice. It's a really nice sort of tang to it, you know? It's not just all sweet, it's got a bit of sour, and I really appreciate that. Especially in like fruit-flavored drinks, I really like having a bit of tang, not just all sweet. It's like a very natural sour. I really like that. I really like this. This is really nice. I've dropped my straw straight into it. Okay, let's start actively looking for problems and just address them as they come. The analysis is pretty banging. Both characters early on address the nature of the actual dogs that they're supposed to be, and, you know, as a German, I feel a bit of pride when they talk about Great Danes. I really like beginning with the idea of playing into how everything's, like, people faking it in Scooby-Doo, and then coming in with the, except then it wasn't, to lead into the absolutely wild kooky shit. I also appreciate that his feet section is not that, but instead this. Yeah, I don't know. The analysis is charming, it's fun, it's entertaining, and also can't help but want to bring up, it said he might be an Anunnaki on his sidebar, but when they bring that up, he might be an alien up, which I assume is the Anunnaki thing. They show, Anubis and Horus, who are, Egyptian deities, and I assume multiple other Egyptian deities. Now, I don't Scooby-Doo, but are these meant to be the Anunnaki? Because, the Anunnaki are Mesopotamian gods, like Enki, Inanna, Utu, and shit. They're not Egyptian. That's not a criticism, that's just abject confusion on my part. And yes, between all the bullshit I've seen, it's not the duplicating, immune to damage, time-stopping, plot-manipulating dog that's confusing me. It's the title they've given to two deities that don't have those titles. I'm sure the intro to Courage's analysis is also a fun reference to the show, but it's lost on me. I can assume it is though, and if I don't make it clear that I can tell what a reference is, even if I don't get the reference, then like last year, people are going to think I hate Courage the Cowardly Dog and try to harass me into watching it. Oh hey, Courage has the funny sidebar name too. I am quite glad, I guess, that they left the crossover between them for Courage's analysis and didn't mention it once in Scooby's. with decades more media than Courage, it definitely wasn't necessary to bring up in both analyses, because they had to put only the most essential stuff of Scooby anyway. They likely had to cut plenty of stuff out that he's done and he's wielded. With Courage, it's more plot relevant to him, given it's like the ending of his show. And no, I'm not particularly bothered by the usage of the crossover in both analysis and conclusion. They fairly well justified their result without equalized stats, and they did justify why it should be considered canon in the corner box too. I actually quite like the ending to Courage's analysis overall, and surely there's nothing else to mention, right? Okay, fine, I'll talk about the cutaway gags. I wanted to avoid them because everything else in this video will be pretty much unambiguously positive, but oh brother, these jokes stink! That's a fun little amazing, well, a gumball reference for you. If you never watched the episode, then you're an idiot for watching this video first. But if I told you that a joke was coming where the setup is Wiz brings up how Scooby's disguises are impossible and shouldn't work, and then immediately this character walks up, what's the most obvious joke you could tell here? That's right, Wiz makes fun of the obviously bad disguise, but ruh-roh, that was actually Mama Boomstick. A comedy is born? I don't know, that might be a bit needlessly snarky, but this is not funny. Courage's is slightly better because Boomstick named his dog Jack Daniels. Cheers, mate. Oh, sorry, it's Jack Spaniels. I know what you're doing. But the majority of this segment involves the completely unanimated Wiz just staring at Boomstick, and it's so weird looking. And also when Boomstick brings up blowing up the sun, Wiz smiles about it, so his sudden concern feels, I don't know, a bit weird. It's definitely not as distracting, but whatever. And that's all, right? Okay, no, I did leave one thing to last. This episode was edited by Galaxy Video Max. That's right, the guy who did the Milk Beef Battle Show and the Abundant Universe Battle Show. Real talk, Max is a cool guy, and while I don't talk to him that often, the fact stands that I have before, and seeing him officially working on Death Battle is really cool. The editing was very solid. I think I spotted maybe one awkward cut where it cuts to this guy and then immediately zooms to a different shot without a transition. That's very minor. All the clips felt well placed, there were plenty of effects used when needed, comic panels were brought to life, the Gobo-Dun graphic was very fancy indeed, the talk show universe fart was pretty wonderful, and I liked the overall editing in general. Another W for the editing team this year. The It's Time for a Dog Battle joke was also fun in the transition. So anyway, we got a fight now. Again, how do I even tackle this? Do I just summarize what happens? Or do you really need me to explain why what happens is good? The animation quality is really good. The 2D animation is fluid for the most part, it has plenty of fun squash and stretch, and it strikes a good balance between being simplistic and being, like, actually good to look at. It's very well composited onto the 3D environment background, better than some anime I've seen attempting the same, or God forbid Ruby and his 2D green screen effects. And also the claymation was really fucking cool for the monster, which of course was hinted at earlier in the episode during Courage's analysis. And like, obviously, making the crossover canon, having the two clearly know each other and get along well, and making the fight just be some silly bullshit they get up to after Courage accidentally knocks Scooby over, leading to them hilariously just ignoring the thing that was chasing them for most of the fight. It's all golden. It's great. It's fun. I love it. Scooby also has some thug-ass poses in this fight. Like, look at that. Motherfucker looks straight out of a YouTuber's 2010 diss track music video. That takes us to a goated Jack vs. Afro reference, and then a fun boxing thumb wrestle, which I do love how the thumb wrestle literally just is objectively not a wrestle. It's a silly, fun little thing, I like it a lot. Courage then kills Scooby with a laser gun, and the rest of the animation is about him trying to avoid the monster. A really weird choice given this is meant to be Courage versus Scooby, but I suppose it does satisfy the people who got mad over Aston not one-shotting Deku immediately, and gets rid of any potential fun fight in lieu of accuracy to the stats of the characters. So then Scooby regrows his head. I do like Courage genuinely seeming worried though, and using the fucking ripping his body in half to dodge the reflected laser. That's just clever. We then get the funny and obvious hallway gag bit. Everyone knew it was coming, it's fun, it thankfully doesn't take up too long. It leads to what I believe is a Courage reference straight after. I know a lot of people wanted a million cameos to show up in this segment, like, oh, Wiz and Boomstick, oh, there goes Booster Gold, ooh, here I am driving through in a Range Rover, but I'm okay with it not being there. Not everything needs to be full of references. So anyway, here's a Clay Fighters reference, here's a reference to, of course, Makima from Gojo vs. Makima, and here's a reference to The next scene is kind of weird. Scooby just vanishes from the animation and Courage takes time to fight these two bitches that show up. I'm not really sure what this is all about, given he didn't fight Godzilla or anything when he opened that door. He does bust out his computer, which thankfully insults him for being stupid. These two bitches then stretch the son of a bitch out and do the Zabriskie triangle, which is a bit weird. I personally would have thought that the far more creative solution than two random women showing up would have been to have Scooby duplicate himself and use Courage as the third person on top. That said, I'm not particularly sure how this functions as an attack, given You know, clearly none of the 3 people who were involved in the one Scooby did in canon actually died. But hey, the shattering the glass surrounding the universe translating to destroying the glass screen of the TV Wiz and Boomstick are watching the animation on is very, very smart and also quite amusing. I do wonder what this animation would look like without this cut though. Would it literally have just been a bit of twinkle in the universe and then a small room-sized explosion? Show me that cut, that sounds hilarious. We then get a few more thug-ass shots of Scooby because he absolutely is going to start dropping bars any second now. I almost wish there was a shot of him crossing his arms, but I forgive it because fuck yeah, more kaiju shit this season, thank you. Plus a fucking Azura's Wrath reference for all those people still crying about how I got Colex to win over there as if their matchup did make it onto 2 ballots. We then get the very wise choice to make the giant punch get countered by Courage's super scream, which is just brilliant. Nobody expected this fight to go this hard, and I am almost certain that when Kratos Azura happens, because you know even if it loses this next ballot, it almost certainly will whenever the next God of War drops, they clearly are more interested in it than most other ballot matchups for it to appear twice, that it will not go as hard as this. Especially using Scooby's catchphrase as a badass line and it working, which I admittedly expected from this episode anyway. And also the music cutting out when he screams and fading back in as the sound waves propagate through Scoobert's body was pretty great. The track being Forever Terror Night, marking 5 consecutive vocal tracks in a row, and this one is really great. Starring Werewolf's wife like last time because he wants to flex on us, then he knows what a woman looks like in person. Then we get the climax where, ta-da, plot twist, this guy fucking dies and it looks yummy. And I especially appreciate how nonplussed he is about it after. Then turns out it's a draw, which, well, the one time somebody asked me who I thought was gonna win, this is what I said. Anyway, it being a draw was pretty fun. It allowed a more lighthearted ending than normal with the 2 friends not killing each other, and they do pretty well justify it. But they do say that the last draw was Chuck Norris vs Sega to Sanshiro, I suppose because they also don't want to acknowledge that Deadpool vs Pinkie Pie happened. The conclusion was good. My one question, is there an assumption being made here that Scooby couldn't, like, destroy the dark matter meteor, or that even if he did, Courage would whip it back out anyway? I'm okay with it, I'm just wondering. Look guys, I'm really struggling with this one. The episode is excellent, it's an absolute standout, a gold star, where all the ingredients came to make it bang. The animation looks gorgeous, the compositing onto the 3D environment is very well done. The lighting is quite good, the sound design works, the track is great, the writing and choreography was really good, it has many real standout scenes and hard shots, the story it tells is really fun, it fits with both characters, both analysis portions are really good, powers and feats are addressed well, they didn't cheap out in any of the versus stuff this time, the editing was excellent, the conclusion was cool, making them draw instead of stretching out to find a winner through some hyper-specific assumption-based bullshit was very cool, but I don't know how to really articulate it without basically just Raven wojacking at the episode. And yeah, this confirms that if no characters in an episode have any win cons, then it'd be considered a draw, which is cool. Also makes Doomsday vs 682 when it eventually happens more interesting, because I suppose it might come down to that. Realizing now I completely forgot to bring up voice acting. Ringmaster did a good job as Scooby, and the guy who voiced Darkseid in Season 5 did a good job as Courage. I will note that this also makes it full 10 episodes since Dummy last got a speaking role in Killua vs Misaka, and 16 episodes since his voice actor was actually credited in Jason vs Michael. Did they just hate Dummy like everyone else in the community randomly decided to when he was announced because they hate change? Weird. Also, no surprises here, the next time is Rick vs the Doctor. I didn't make any wild call right before the reveal this time, this is just one I've been expecting since the year began. As much as I love getting more Western animation representation, especially with how great the episodes with them this season have been, I really don't care for this matchup. I don't give a single shit about Rick and Morty, and my preferred for the Doctor was John Constantine. That said, the Doctor is still, like, there. I haven't watched more than a few Doctor Who episodes, but I love this guy. His optimism, his quirkiness, his unique manner of going about things that makes almost every incarnation of him fun to watch that I've experienced. That kind of out of place guy who's not really out of place, he just kind of doesn't give a shit what you think. He's also a character originated from Britain, which, ignoring the L of being British, does mark him as one of the only non-American Western characters on Death Battle, along with the likes of Sauron and Bames Jond. And it's cool to get more representation of characters from other cultures. Can't wait to see how he goes in the episode. I kind of expect the 10th Doctor to be the one used in the fight because he is the most popular and iconic, but I also expect him to die at some point and explosion into new incarnation after. Be it the 9th Doctor dies and becomes the 10th, or the 10th Doctor dies and becomes the 11th, or they just go out of sequence. So yeah, that's the review, good episode, solid 5 out of 10. And that was the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I can get through this segment quickly because it is raining real bad and it just hit an ending period, but I can tell it's going to start raining again. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you loved the episode. I loved the episode. This is probably my second favorite episode of the season. Definitely. It's definitely my second favorite episode, just behind Bill Cord. And like, I'm not surprised. Those are the 2 episodes that tend to be the topping on people's lists, along with the episodes that I don't like the existence of. So yeah. I hope you guys liked it, and I already said that. Hey, you guys want to support me on Patreon? You can! Thank you to everyone scrolling by who has! You can go on there to access the Patreon-only Discord, and frankly nothing else, because nobody wants anything else. So I guess if that's all people want, I'll say the stupid things that people want me to say. Now the problem here, I can't do a good Scooby voice, and I don't really know Courage's voice. He doesn't say a lot in the episode, so this is gonna be trouble.
Oh, we went Courage. I think we went murder on a Verona's. Whoa, movie take. Well, we wanted Verona's now. Whoa, we are bugged. Subscribe to DOOBERT.
No. Ah!
For your vice boyfriend, please go to Chipotle.
Thanos quack. I don't know Courage's voice. He says so little in the episode, and I've not seen any Courage. Sing my favorite Scooby-Doo theme song, eh? Well, I can't do. Stop trying to make me sing.
Whoa, Courage. We died in this battle to the death. We have to divide this via a dance battle now. Raggy, that monkey's monkey.
Like Zoink Scoob! I think I'm gonna hit the gritty now, man! Woo! Fucking goddamn it. Oh my god. I wish the model could really express my emotional rage. Fucking time the thunderstorm again. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed, everyone. Bye, have a good one. Support me on Patreon if you want. Have a